Page 310. We'll begin with the beginning and the ending of these words of Eshir Chayil, the song of love that we offer to our loved ones each and every Shabbat. And so I'll invite you to join in with me on a Yadadai, on the words, wherever you feel most comfortable. Eshet Chayil mimsa verachok mipnei michra Batach balev bala v'shala lo yechzar Yemala tu tov v'lo ra kol yemei chayeha Darsha tzemer ufishti v'tas v'chepetz kafeha Podcha v'chochma v'torat chesed alishona Tzofia lichot beita v'lechem atzlut lo tofer Kamu v'neav yashruha Tasu chayil ve'atalit al kulana Sheker achein ve'hevel hayofi Isha yirat Adonai titalav Zenu lami pri yadeha Yalelua v'sharim maseha Iridai Shabbat Shalom, everyone. My name is Rabbi Sam, for those that I haven't met yet. And we are so excited to welcome you to Kabbalat Shabbat of our dedication weekend, our rededicating of this beautiful, transformed space. We're going to talk at length throughout the weekend about the different ways in which we can really lift up ourselves communally by singing together. But it's really beautiful, and I'm grateful to all of you for being here tonight with us. I'm really excited to welcome Rabbi Warshawsky and Coleen Dieker to help us lift up our spirits this Shabbat, coming out of Rosh Chodesh Elul and really beginning to settle into this month. The month of Elul begins this process of introspection that leads us into the high holidays. The rabbis teach that the name Elul is an acronym for a number of different phrases in Hebrew. One of them being the phrase from the Song of Songs, Ani lidodi vidodi li. I am my beloved, and my beloved is mine. And what we can do in this space of coming together is to be able to see into the eyes of each other, which I know is a deeply vulnerable act. So we got like three sides of a circle, so like there's a little bit more vulnerability over here and a little bit less. Whatever you need to be in this moment is how we enter in. And so we began with this idea of Eshet Chayil, of this love that we share. I know that we have a couple of anniversaries. So that melody I wrote for a year ago when I proposed to Allison as a part of this weekend with Josh and Coleen here. And Josh, also, we're finishing your anniversary day today, as we wish you a happy anniversary as well. And this idea of love, of openness, of sharing our hearts during this day is what this period is all about. The introspection of Elul is there to help us to grow, to open up, and to more deeply connect with those that we love around us. And so at this time, I'm going to turn it over to my beloved, who I owe a lot of gratitude for bringing this group of people together tonight, who you have brought together and cultivated, and a lot of friends that you've met along the way that we're bringing in together. And so in a minute, you're going to share a little bit about how we might enter into this space. But I want to offer just one more special thank you as we get started to all of our singers who gathered together Thursday night here and in our first row here to help us lift up our spirits and with the energy. We're really appreciative to all of you for lifting up our souls and helping it to soar tonight.
Wow, okay. So in a few minutes, or immediately after this, we're going to start singing, davening together, and we have these transliterated sheets in front of us. We also have access to these sidurs, these prayer books, and we're going to daven from these traditional melodies. When I first made my way into this type of Jewish practice, one barrier that I faced was Hebrew. I didn't grow up speaking Hebrew, reading Hebrew, and oftentimes I would feel that the words got in the way of me connecting with the music, of me feeling comfortable in the space. And so as we enter into this Shabbat together, an invitation to each of you to be holy in this space. And if you find that the words are tripping you up, feel free to sing along on Yidadai. Even if everyone is singing the words, you don't have to. The point is just to lift up our voices and share a song together. So I will be modeling that, and an open invitation to join me.
Thank you. We'll begin with number 1 on the sheets, or page 13, as we welcome in Shabbat together.
Shalom, Boi Amalka, Boi Kala, Shalom Alechem, Malachei HaShalom, Boi Amalka, Boi Amalka, Boi Kala, Shalom Alechem, Malachei HaShalom. Malka, Boi Kala. אילנות נישא בואו ונצא לקראת שבת המלכה הנה היא יורדת הקדושה ברוחה ועם המלאכים בשלום ומנוחה בואי המלכה בואי כלה שלום עליכם מלאכי השלום בואי המלכה בואי כלה שלום עליכם מלאכי השלום שלום שלום מלאכי השלום שלום מלאכי עליון מלאכי השלום בואי המלכה בואי המלכה בואי כלה שלום עליכם מלאכי השלום בואי המלכה בואי כלה שלום עליכם מלאכי השלום בואי המלכה בואי המלכה בואי כלה שלום עליכם מלאכי השלום השלום בואי המלכה בואי כלה שלום עליכם מלאכי
We'll turn to page 14. We'll take our next step into Shabbat together with Yedid Nefesh.
ay 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 שלומך, סוכת שלומך, אותה עיר ארץ, מכבודך נגילה, ונשמחה בה, נשמחה בה, או מהר אהוב כיבה מועד, בכל עיני כי בעולם. איי 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 איי
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. It's so great to be here with all of you. So great to be back in Atlanta, back at Ahavat Achim. This is year 3, and I feel like I've gotten to really experience the trajectory of this space from 2021, when there were just 20 people in this room and just as many plants, and to last year when we got to gather together in the chapel and really build up the energy and the space and dream about what it could be like to be here in this particular space, to right now, when we get to bring in and welcome into this space and celebrate all weekend long of getting to open up the possibilities of what it's like to sing here. So I'm grateful to get to be back. I know Coleen is also really grateful. And we're going to enter into these words of Kabbalat Shabbat, 6 Psalms, one for each day of the week, leading up to Lecha Dodi, that moment when Shabbat really arrives. And the idea is to sort of think about how we can enter into Shabbat with the intention that we want when we enter into Shabbat. So the question is, what do you need from Shabbat this week? Maybe it's rest, maybe it's energy, maybe it's community, maybe it's a moment of silence, maybe it's noise, joyful noise, whatever it is. Set an intention for yourself and figure out over the course of the next few prayers, the next few melodies, how are we going to get there? How are you going to be able to enter into Shabbat when Lecha Dodi arrives, feeling the way that you want to feel on Shabbat? Shabbat, all the Psalms of Kabbalat Shabbat are written in the plural. We sing Lechu, Niranana, let's do this together, let's go out, let's be in this space together. And so we've come here, we've joined up together, and what we're supposed to do in that space is very clear, even from this first sentence on page 15. It says, Nariya. Let's sing out, let's shout out, let's celebrate. So when we get to that word Nariya, hopefully you'll really celebrate, you'll shout it out. And some of these melodies that we're going to sing might be familiar, some might be unfamiliar. I encourage you, no matter what, to let the melodies wash over you and just enter in, join in, sing your heart out whenever you feel ready, whenever you feel comfortable. Whatever you sing are the right words, the right melodies. Whatever notes you sing are the right notes. Just join us. Page 15.
Lechu Niranena L'Adonai, Lechu Niranena L'Adonai, Nariya Letzur Yisheinu Nekadma Panav Betoda, Nariya Letzur Yisheinu Nekadma Panav Betoda, Bizmirot Nariya Lo, Lechu Niranena L'Adonai, Lechu Niranena L'Adonai, Nariya Letzur Yisheinu Nekadma Panav Betoda, אישנו נקנה פניו בתודה בזמירות נריע לו לכו נרננה לכו נרננה לאדוני לכו נרננה לצור אישנו נקמה פניו בתודה נריע לצור אישנו נקמה פניו בתודה בזמירות נריע לו בזמירות נריע לו בזמירות שירו לאדוני כל הארץ שירו לאדוני ברכו שמו בסרו מיום ליום ישועתו ספרו בגויים כבודו לכל העמים נפלאותיו כי גדול אדוני ומעולם מאוד השמיים לתגל אמן ירמיה ומלו יעלו שדי בכל אשר בו אל תרננו כל הצייר לפני אדוני
We'll turn together to Psalm 29. If you're looking on the transliteration, it's on the top of page 2 or on page 20. We'll rise together for this psalm. This psalm has the word kol in it 7 times, the word kol meaning voice. Different days have different voices, different days have different ways that we experience. Different voices coming together bring so much to a space. So by the time we get to that seventh kol, that seventh time the voice appears, what would it be like to feel the voice, to hear the sound of Shabbat? Let's see if we can create that sound here in this space. We'll turn to page 20 or page 2 on the song sheets together and rise for Psalm 29. You can sit. You can sit.
Adonai yevarech et amo v'shalom, et amo v'shalom. Hey!
Please be seated. Continue on page 21, making our way into Shabbat with the words of Lecha Dodi. Before we welcome the Shabbat Queen into this space, the Shabbat Bride, take a moment and just look around the room and see if you see somebody that you haven't seen before or haven't seen in a while. And take a moment just to say hello to the people that are next to you. Before we greet the Shabbat Queen, we should greet each other. So say Shabbat Shalom. When you hear the melody come back in, that's when you know it's time to come back to each other. But say hello, meet somebody new, see a new face.
back in the booth. Oh, that's fine with me if you want to help. I can't hear how it. Yeah, I guess it is too low.
That one. Let's do it. Yeah. Hum diddy dum diddy lecha dodi, hum diddy dum diddy likra kala, hum diddy dum diddy penne Shabbat nekabela. Hum diddy dum diddy lecha dodi, hum diddy dum diddy likra kala, hum diddy dum diddy penne Shabbat nekabela. Oy lecha dodi, dodi lecha dodi likra kala, penne Shabbat penne Shabbat nekabela. Shamor v'zachor v'diborecha Ishmianu ela meyuchad Adonai echad u'shemo echad L'shemo tiferet v'litila. Oy lecha dodi lecha dodi likrat kala pene Shabbat pene Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha ki mekor haberacha merosh mikedem nesucha sof ma'aseh b'machshavat tchila. Lecha dodi lecha dodi likrat kala pene Shabbat pene Shabbat nekabela. Nigdash melech melucha kuminzeim mitoch afecha Rav lach shevet mekabacha ve'u yachamol alayich chemla. Oy lecha dodi lecha dodi likrat kala pene Shabbat pene Shabbat nekabela. Hitari me'afar kumi livshi bigdei tifar techami hayad nishai beit halach mikorva el nafshi ge'ala. Oy lecha dodi lecha dodi likrat kala pene Shabbat pene Shabbat nekabela. Hitoreri ki va'orek u'mi'ori ori shidaber kevod Adonai alayich nigla. Lecha dodi lecha dodi likrat kala pene Shabbat pene Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala pene Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala Kabbalat. Lo tevoshi velo tikami, ma tishtochachi u'ma tehmi. Bach yechesu עניי עמי ונבנתה עיר עתילה לך דודי לכלכלה בדרי שבת נקבלה לך דודי לכלכלה Shabbat Kabbalat V'hayulim shisa shosayim V'rachaku kol mevalayim Yasis alayim Elohayim Kimsos chatan Al-Kala לך דודי לכלכלה בדרי שבת נקבלה לך דודי לכלכלה בדרי שבת נקבלה ימין ושמאל תפרוצי ואת אדוני תריסי על יד איש בן פרצי ונשמחה ונגילה לך דודי לכלכלה בדרי שבת נקבלה לך דודי לכלכלה בדרי שבת נקבלה בואי בשלום עטרת בעלה גם בשמחה ובצהלה תוכם בני עם סגולה בואי חלה בואי חלה לך דודי לכלכלה בדרי שבת נקבלה לך דודי לכלכלה בדרי שבת נקבלה שלום שלום שבת שלום שלום שבת שלום שבת שלום שלום שבת שלום שבת שלום שלום שבת שלום לך דודי לך דודי לקראת כלה בדרי שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת כלה בדרי שבת נקבלה Please be seated. We turn together to the bottom of page 23, the bottom of page 2 on our transliteration sheets. The Psalm for Shabbat. The first words we say as we enter into Shabbat itself. Tzadik katamar yifrach. May we all flourish like a righteous palm tree. Tzadik katamar yifrach. Keres Lavano Turn together to page 24. The very last psalm of Kabbalat Shabbat is all about finding a way to, amidst all the noise, all the crashing waters, all the rushing waves, all the things that are going on in our lives, to find a moment to just tune out the static and find the voice of holiness. Mikolot ma'im rabim, louder than all of these crashing waters. Adir b'marom Adonai. It's the voice of the holiness, the voice of God. If only we can find a way to hear it. We're going to step out onto the ocean, step out into the waves, try and find a way to hear that still small voice of Shabbat, of holiness, of divinity, of prayer. Adonai, Yisu Neharot Tokya, Mikolot Ma'im Rabim, Adirim Mishpereyam, Mikolot Ma'im Rabim, Adir B'marom Adonai, Yadonai, Yadonai, Yadonai.
Yamim.
We invite those who are in mourning or observing yard sites this Shabbos to rise in body or in spirit as we offer the mourner's Kaddish in the middle of page 24. Yikadal
v'yiskadash Shemei Rabba.
Be'alma divrat
Be'alma divrat
Yamlich
Yamlich Malchusei. V'chayachon v'yachon v'chayei t'chol Beis Yisrael. V'gala v'zman karev v'yamru Amen. Yehei Shemei Rabba Mavarach Olam Omei Omaya. Yisbarach v'yishabach v'yisba'ar v'yishamam v'yisnaseh.
V'yitadar v'yishalech v'yisabal Shemei Kedusha v'chu. Leila mikol birchasa
v'shirasa. Tushbechata v'nechemasa. Damiram v'yilma v'yimru Amen. Yehei Shlomo Rabba Mishamaya. V'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael
v'yimru Amen.
Amen.
Shalom B'Shalom. V'yaseh Shalom. Aleinu v'al
Kol Yisrael v'yimru Amen.
In a moment, we'll light our candles, but before that, I want to invite Rabbi Laurence Rosenthal to offer us some welcome.
Wow, really incredible, this well of music that's coming through. I stand here with a great amount of gratitude, sort of overwhelmed with it. There's, of course, the gratitude for the music and the spiritual uplift that we're being brought tonight by our Mashorim, our musicians, by Coleen and Rabbi Josh. But then there's also a bricks and mortar gratitude that I really have. Because we are here to dedicate a clay kodesh, a holy vessel. And that isn't something that's just metaphysical, it is physical. And you are in it. And it is outstanding what has been done in this place. The last time this room was worked on was 1958, when they dedicated this space, the first time. And so to stand here and to be here today is something remarkable. So I have gratitude to a lot of you in this room. I have gratitude to Gary Olimbic, our president, to Mark Stern, our executive president, who really ran with this project for the last few years. Jerry Benjamin, who put a lot of love and had to look at all different types of spaces in this building that people had complaints about and have to make something happen. George Nathan, Michael Habeth, Jill Van Tosh, these people came meeting after meeting, night, morning, whenever, to look at carpet samples, to choose them, and then be told, you can't have those. So over and over again. But I also have a very special thank you, because it's tied to a memory. And that memory is when I was a much younger rabbi with a different head of hair. I might have been here 2 years, 3 years. And my first president, Mark Cohen, just had an idea And the problem with Mark Cohen having an idea is that it keeps growing and growing. And Mark looked at this space and said, I wonder what we could do. His father, by the way, was on the building committee in 58 to dedicate this space. In 48, to dedicate this space. No, 58, dedicate this space. And I remember those first meetings, Mark. I remember you pulling together some donors, some congregants, making sketches. It was a long time ago. And so I have a huge gratitude to Mark Cohen for getting this project done. So thank you. And there's many more to thank, but I want to bring this back into our spiritual vessel. There's an error in the calendar. We see it every year, but we don't pay attention to it. Today we start Elul. It's a time of great introspection, a heshbon nefesh, an accounting of our soul, in order to come to the high holidays, the Yamim Noraim, the days of awe, with all of our accounting, all of our receipts to show to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, so that we may go into the next year. And the error comes in the order of those holidays. You've seen it, you've experienced it, and none of us have questioned it or asked about it. We come to Rosh Hashanah and begin the new year. We celebrate, we crown God as sovereign, and then 10 days later, we cleanse ourselves? Shouldn't it be the other way around? Shouldn't we cleanse ourselves from the sins of the last year before we enter in to the next year? We're 10 days in, and we're still holding on to everything that came before. Our teacher, Reb Mimi, used to have a beautiful teaching about why the order of Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. Why aren't they backwards? Why are they this way? Because in fact, you might be going through a cleansing, but the cleansing is not for the year that is past. It's about what's year to come. That's the error we often make. It's not about the past, it's about the future. And this weekend is an example of this. The question that Yom Kippur and these holy days brings to us is, what do you dedicate yourself to? What are you dedicating your life to? Who are you dedicating yourself to? That is what these days are asking us. That is why we are cleansing our soul. That is why we're taking an accounting of our actions for the past year, so that we might go forward anew. And this incredible space shows us how to do it. You don't need to pretend like the year that happened didn't happen. You don't need to look away from people's eyes because of guilt and remorse. You are a holy vessel. And yes, we get old sometimes and we get tired and our light becomes dim. And sometimes the wall we've stared at year after year and counted every single one of those gold, whatever they are, because you're so bored and you know that number, that in fact, all you need to do is take that wall and keep going up. All you need to do is say, we don't need to be up there, we could be right here. All you need to do is say, we don't need to hide behind a brown wall, a wood wall. We could open our souls up so that we could all see. This is the same space for those of us who remember the 50s and the 60s and the 70s and the 80s. This is the same space that you held your grandfather or grandmother's hand. This is the same place that your mother and father put their tallis around you and held you close during the service. This is the same place that you kept yourself entertained by counting every one of those gold. I see you doing it. I used to sit up there. I saw your eyes. You were like, I knew you weren't agreeing with what I was saying. I knew you were counting. This weekend is not about bricks and mortar. This weekend is about you dedicating your Klei Kodesh, your holy soul. What the holiday is bringing to us, what the holiday is asking us, is begging from us, is that we could renew ourselves with the love and the care that is around us. Because I tell you, no matter what you think of your physical self now, you are beautiful, just waiting to be spruced up. If you need some help, ask Mark Cohen. Shabbat Shalom.
This time we want to invite up Rosenthal and Sarah Papier to help us lighting our candles, if you'd be willing to do that. One of our sisterhood co-presidents and immediate past president. We rise together. Oh.
Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kirishanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Shikach. Let's remain standing as we make our way into Ma'ariv. Page 28.
Baruch hu et Adonai HaMevorach.
Baruch Adonai Amvorach leolam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach leolam va'ed. Baruch Adonai.
Proceed as we continue the bottom of the page.
Ma'avir yom u'mevi laila, mavdil ben yom u'vein laila, Adonai tzevot shemo, El chai v'kayam, tamid yimloch aleinu leolam va'ed, Baruch atah Adonai, Hamariv v'aravim, Avat olam, Beit Yisrael chavta, Ki hem chayenu ve'orech yameinu v'hem nege yomam v'layla ve'avatcha tatzim imenu le'olamim Baruch atah Adonai ohev amo Yisrael Shema Yisrael Adonai בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בעיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך והיה כי שמע לכם ניתן לבבכם. ושמתם את דברי אלוהים לכם ולימדתם אותם בדרך לדבר בה בשעת עבודך וכלתם את בדרך וישרך למען יברכם ובני חיים על רע שישמע לכם כי מהשמיים עליו ויאמר אדוני אשר עמו למען תזכרו את אדוני אלוהיכם אמת אמת ואמונה page 32.
Continue at the bottom of the page. As Rabbi Rosenthal said, this space is about us coming together. The call and response of Moses and Miriam standing in front of the people at the sea, leading them in a song of joy. The work not entirely yet done, but entering into the land of freedom, of expansiveness, of new possibilities. Mi chamocha, Ba'elim Adonai, Mi kamocha, Nedar b'kodesh,
Kifar Adonai et Yaakov, U'elam yad chazak mimenu, Baruch ata Adonai, Gal Yisrael. Hashki vein Adonai lenu shalom, and Emakenu chayim, Ki al shemen matleinu ata, ki al machad merchum ata, ushmor tzeiteinu einu, l'chaim shalom etav yad olam, ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha, baruch ata Adonai, hapores sukat shalom, alenu ve'kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim. Rise, page 34. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש. יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, ועלמד יברח ירצה וימליך מלכותי, וחייכונו ויומכון, ובחיי דכל בית ישראל. וגלה, ובזמן קריב, ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך, לעולם ליומי עמייך. יתברך וישתבח ויתבר ותרם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי לקודשה בריחו לילה מכל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דמירן ועלמה ואמרו אמן.
We take a few moments to offer the silent Amidah, beginning page 35 through 38, or taking a few moments to private meditation to offer up our own prayers on this evening.
shalom v'meromav hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'yiberu amen. Oseh shalom v'meromav hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'yiberu amen.
We continue with our partial repetition of the Amidah, rising together, page 47.
ויחולו השמיים והארץ וכל צבאם ויחל אלוהים ביום השביעי מלאכתו אשר עשה וישפוט ביום השביעי מכל מלאכתו אשר עשה ויברך אלוהים את יום השביעי ויקדש אותו כי בו שבת מכל מלאכתו אשר ברא אלוהים לעשות. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו אלוהי אברהם אלוהי יצחק ואלוהי יעקב אלוהי שרה אלוהי רבקה אלוהי רחל אלוהי לאה האל הגדול הגיבור והנורא אל עליון כונס שמיים וארץ מגן אבות בדברו מחיי מתים במאמרו האל הקדוש אין כמוהו המניח לעמו ביום שבת קודשו כי במרצה להניח להם לפניו נעבוד ביראה ופחד ונודה לשמו בכל יום תמיד והנה ברכות אל ההודעות אדון השלום וקדש השבת וברך שביעי ומניח בקדושה לעמדו שני עונג זכר למעשה בראשית אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו רצה במנוחתנו קדשנו במצוותיך ותן חלקנו בתורתך שבנו מטובך ושמחנו בישועתך וטהר ליבנו לעובדך באמת והנחילנו אדוני אלוהינו באהבה וברצון שבת קודשך ואנוכו וישראל וקדשי שמך ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת
אמן.
יתגדל ויגדל שמי רבה ועמד ירח קרתי והמליך מלכותי וחייכון וחייך בית ישראל בגלה בזמן קריב ואמרו אמן יש שמי רבה מבורך לעולם לעולם חייו יתברך וישתבח ויתבר ותרם וינשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתעלה שמי לקודשה בריחו לילה מקרבתה ושירתה תושבתה ונחמתה דם אירן ועמה ואמרו אמן תתקבל תודות לכל ישראל קדם אבון ומשמע ואמרו אמן יש לרום מן שמע וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן עושה שלום במרומיו והוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן.
Page 51, we continue with Aleinu.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי ארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגור עלינו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים מודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. Kakatsuva Toratecha Adonai Yimloch Le'olam Va'ed V'nemar V'haya Adonai Le'melech Al Kol Haaretz Vayom Ha'u Yeh Adonai Echad U'Shemo
Be seated. It's with great sadness this week that we mark the loss of Bobby Levin, the mother of Lee and Nika Tallman, Marcia and Gail Armfield, and Scott Tallman. We pray that the Levin family has the support and love that they need during this time. We also continue to stand with those families who are in the period of Shloshim, the 30 days since the passing of their loved one, as we remember Stephen Goldstein, the husband of Karen, and the father of Mindy, Louis, Blair, and Zach, and the brother of Bobby, Liz, Gail, Lyons, Janet, and Richard. Remember Philip Medence, the husband of Robin, the father of Amy, Christopher, Barry, Allie, Debbie, Ryan, the brother of Marcia. Remember Tina, Brenda Eichel, the sister of Sharon and Ken Torreyson, and Kenner Philip Sherman, the loving friend of Fern Shore and Warren Abrams, and Hazel Karp, the mother of Miriam, Beth, Richard, Benjamin, and Margie. Today on the 2nd of Elul, we remember Nemes Kaplan, the mother of Francis Kaplan, Donnelly Silverman, the sister of Victor Silverman, Regina Weinberg Eisenberg, the mother of Maury Gerson, and Esther Buxbaum, the sister of Harriet Draylet, and the aunt of Marcy. We continue to hold and to bring to memory those loved ones who remember morning and evening as part of our daily minyan, remembering Saul Schenberg, Gloria and Al Bihar, Janice Gordon-Sassine, Cookie Frank, Judge Melvin Grossman, Carol Deutsch, Phyllis Podber, Marie Schenberg, Aubrey Garber-Vasilevsky, Alice Kaplan, Stan Pollack, Betty Stallard, Roberta Ben-Haimem, Kathy Smith, Marilyn Blumberg, Don Reisman, Louis Saul, Sam Dralick, Rick Blum, Larry Weiner. And at this time, we'll go around and offer any names that we're remembering tonight. Daniel Kleiman, father of Johnny. Are there any others? We pray that all those who we are remembering tonight, that their memories be for a blessing today and always, as we invite those in mourning to rise in body or in spirit as we offer the Mourner's Kaddish, page 52. Yikadal
v'yiskadash shemei Rabbi. Yalma divra kibusei v'yamlich machusei. Chayachon v'yamachon v'chayed kol beis Yisrael. Bagala v'zmachari v'yiru amen. Shmei Rabbi Maharat v'yolam omei olea. Yisparach v'yishabach v'yisba'ar v'yisramam v'yisasei. Yispadar v'yisaleh v'yisalam shmei v'kudashah v'yitu. La'ela min kol b'yachasa v'shirasa. Tushbachasa v'yamasa. Amiram v'yoma v'yiru amen. Yehesh Amara v'yishemaya. Chayim aleinu v'yakol Yisrael v'yiru amen. Oseh shalom b'mrama. Yaseh shalom. Aleinu v'yisrael v'yiru amen.
Before we end together, I'll invite up Gary Alembic, our congregational president, to offer a few announcements, some thank yous, and some information on the weekend.
Good evening, and Shabbat Shalom, welcome.
Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you for joining us this evening, and what a magical evening it has been. And we invite you to join us throughout the whole weekend as we dedicate this magnificent sanctuary. I did want to thank our visiting artists. Thank you all very much. Beautiful. Thank you for listening our spirits and our voices and our hearts. Josh and Coleen, I want to welcome you back to your AA home. We're glad we're going to be spending the whole weekend with you, so thank you. I did want to also thank the committee that put together our dinner earlier, a very tasty dinner. To the co-chairs, Nancy Levine and Brandon, thank you so much. Barbara Feinberg, thank you. Sherry Habiff, Allison Goldman, Rabbi Blustin. I also wanted to thank Jackie Nix. Jackie, you've done a wonderful job putting all these programs together. Thank you. Miriam Habiff, and also our facilities staff. I invite you to join us in the morning at 9:30. Shabbat service will start. Mincha, Mariv, and Havdalah will begin at 8:15. We're going to have something a little different. Mincha and Mariv will take place. Rabbi Rosenthal will be officiating that. And then we're going to transition to the Blustin home, where they're going to be having Havdalah. So stay with us after Mariv, and we'll be transitioning. So if you're on the Zoom link, just stay put, and we'll be joining Sam and Allison at their home. So look forward to seeing you all throughout the whole weekend. Thank you so much. And also, one quick reminder, if you have a shofar at home and you blow the shofar, please bring it with you to the sanctuary dedication. We have a role for you, so please join us. All right. Thank you so much. Great seeing so many familiar faces, and look forward to seeing you throughout the whole weekend. Thank you. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom. Thank you, Gary. And I want to give one more thank you to all those who took time to help lift up our spirits, who came last night to help learn the melodies so that we could all be on the same page, the same melody tonight. To Rachel and to Greg, Marcia and Brooke, A.E., Andy and Mindy, to Cliff and to Michael and Allison, and not only for being a part of this group, for helping to organize our group tonight, to Randy and to Johnny and to Bonnie. Thank you all so much for helping to lift up our voices, and by Josh and Coleen, we're so grateful for you and your presence with us this weekend. We're going to end with our psalm for the season, Psalm 27. You can find it in your Sidrim, page 80. And then we'll make our way out of here to Elul Nigun as we've entered into this month. We'll have a dessert reception afterwards. I'll invite you to stick around to introduce yourself to someone new or you haven't seen in a while, and let's continue to build community.
Starts out as a call and response. Lule emanti lirot betuv Adonai.
Lule emanti lirot betuv Adonai.
Last two lines on the page.
Lule emanti lirot betuv Adonai.
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 Be'eretz chayim, be'eretz chayim, be'eretz chayim, be'eretz chayim,
be'eretz chayim, be'eretz chayim, be'eretz chayim, be'eretz chayim,
be'eretz chayim, be'eretz chayim,
be'eretz chayim,
be'eretz chayim,
be'eretz chayim, be'eretz chayim, be'eretz chayim, be'eretz chayim.
Lule emanti lirot betuv Adonai.
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 Be'eretz chayim, be'eretz chayim, be'eretz chayim, be'eretz chayim,
be'eretz chayim, be'eretz chayim, be'eretz chayim, be'eretz chayim, be'eretz chayim, be'eretz chayim, be'eretz chayim, be'eretz chayim, be'eretz chayim, be'eretz chayim, be'eretz Be'eretz Chaim, 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 Be'eretz Chaim.
Shabbat shalom, everyone.
Shabbat shalom. Yadanai, nai, ai, nai, nai, yadanai, nai, ai, nai, ai, 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 nai, 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 yadanai, nai, ai, nai, nai, yadanai, nai, ai, nai, nai, ai, 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 nai, ai, nai, nai, yadanai, nai, ai, nai, ai, nai, ai, yadanai, nai, ai, nai, ai, nai, ai.
One more time.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom, everyone.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom, and a wonderful Shabbat it was. How wonderful.
Shabbat shalom, everybody. I gotta
Shabbat
tell you,
shalom,
that was
everyone.
really, really special.
Amazing.
I mean, they really started to cook. You know, everybody was moving with that. I won't forget that in a long
I'm
time.
never going to forget that.
Wish we could be there.
You could boogie to that.
Have a great
I'm
night,
going to tell you,
everybody.
I'm impressed.
We'll do
Oh, I
that,
can't stop
Charles.
smiling.
You
It was
and
wonderful.
I will get together and boogie.
I'm
See you all
impressed.
tomorrow.
That
Have a
was
wonderful
great.
night, everybody.
Soon. Yeah,
Good
have
I'll
a
see
good
you in the
night.
morning. Good night.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom. Bye, Sylvia.
Bye, Sylvia. Bye, Charles.
Everybody. See you.